Hey guys, Jason here, Samco Workshop 2. We're going to talk about, is this thing underpowered? Is the Jeep underpowered with the 3.6 Pentastar motor? You hear that a lot. Oh, it's gutless, it's underpowered, it doesn't have a lot of power to it. You know, honestly, I'm telling you right now, what does it matter? What does it matter how much power it has? We'll dive into it deeper in a second, but it doesn't matter what it is. If it's this or the Frontier or the 3rd gen Tacoma, these naturally aspirated V6s, you buy them for the reliability. You buy them for the dependability. As far as the power they have, like on the road, I've never had a situation where I couldn't pass somebody. I never had a situation where I didn't have enough power to pull out in front of cars or into traffic or merge into things. Or I never have a problem doing 85 going down I-95 between Georgia and Florida where everybody's doing 85, 90. Never had a problem doing that. I've never had a problem with it doing anything. Okay, it does it. And then on top of that, given the crawl ratio that you have in this, in the 4 low, even in 4 high, when you hit the off-road plus button and it holds those gears longer for you in the shift points, and then being able to switch into manual mode on this thing, the power of this thing is incredible. There's a reason that there's so many people that are running these with 37s and 40-inch tires. I got 35s on this, but running 37s and 40-inch tires, even 42-inch tires, and they're having no issues. Okay, you don't hear them complaining about the power too much. It's got it. It's got it in spades. It's got it. And if you need more than this and you think it's gutless and it can't do something, same for any of these, not just a Jeep, but for any of these vehicles, if you think they can't do it or they don't have enough power, you're driving wrong. I'm sorry, I don't know how else to say it, but you're not driving right. You're not driving the right way, because these things have got what it needs. It has what it takes, and they have the reliability of the naturally aspirated engine. There's a reason that right now the Frontier sales are through the roof. There's a reason that the 3rd gen Tacoma was the best-selling mid-size pickup there is. There's a reason this is the most heavily used and modified and made for off-road rig, and it has a naturally aspirated V6. There's a reason for all of this stuff. Everything is because it works, and it works good. Okay, if you think you're going to turn this thing into a race car, or that you need to have, 300 horsepower, 350 horsepower, 450 foot-pounds of torque to do anything, you bumped your head. You really don't. It cracks me up, especially with the 3rd gen Tacoma. Okay, we hear that all the time. Every time I'd post a video about my 22 or about any of the 3rd gen Tacomas, it's gutless. How much guts does it need? Because it does everything you need. It gets out in front of traffic, it merges well, it passes cars, it does everything, and it gets through the woods just fine. So I never understood that concept or why people complained about that. But the one thing it has going for it that not many other vehicles do, the reliability of the naturally aspirated motor that is in there, and the fact that you can fix it for dirt cheap. The beauty of this Jeep right here is that the simplicity of that motor means that I can replace the motor for $6,500 with a Mopar crate motor, a brand new engine from Mopar in a nice, neat little box that just plugs and play. A few bolts, some wiring harnesses, not too, I'm exaggerating slightly, but pretty easy to swap the motor out of this thing, and no big deal for $6,500. And the trans, this automatic trans, it's $3,500 for a crate motor, or for a crated transmission for this. So for under $10,000, I can have a brand new complete Jeep in this. Good for another 150,000 miles. That's pretty crazy to have that. To have that kind of a luxury. You don't get that with twin turbos and with turbo 4 cylinders and all that kind of stuff. You get that with naturally aspirated old school designs that have a lot of benefits. And again, with the crawl ratio of this thing, when you put this thing into 4, even in 4 high, it does great. You put it in 4 low, it does phenomenal. And then you like I said, the crawl ratio, the power of this thing is more than enough. There is a reason that this particular truck right here runs the largest size tires of any other truck on the market today. Okay, there are more of these with bigger tires on this than anything else. And we know that tire size and weight of tires is what robs power, right? Why would these people choose to do that to a gutless V6, naturally aspirated V6, and go ahead and go through all that trouble and change all that suspension work and do all that to put 42-inch tires on a Jeep? Why would they do that? Because it can do it. And when you put this thing in 4 low, it's got it in spades. It'll do it all. So the gearing is what saves these things. They don't need the power. They don't need the horsepower. You don't need to change this out. It doesn't need a Hurricane inline 6. It doesn't need to go to the 2-liter turbo 4xe. It doesn't need any of that. It doesn't need anything. It needs a standard 3.6 that's in it, that's been tried, true, and proven. It's got more power than you'll ever need. It does everything you want it to, even better. Good enough. I mean, like I said, anything more is wasteful. You won't use it. And if you do use it, like I said, you're kind of driving wrong. That's my attitude on it. So, in my opinion, and the same goes for the 4Runner, and the same goes for the Honda Ridgeline, and the same goes for all of these naturally aspirated 6-cylinders. This one, this 3.6 Pentastar, is also in the Ram 1500 is one of the options in the Ram. And was it Motor Trend or one of them just came out and called that truck gutless, okay? No power, no speed, no ability to do nothing. You know, how fast do you need it to go? Does it? I mean, most vehicles have a governor at about 100 miles an hour. So how fast do you need it to do? It'll do 100. So what does that matter? It will merge into traffic. It will get out there out of its own way. It'll pass cars. It'll do everything you need. It'll tow. It'll haul. It'll do everything. Why does it need more power? What is the benefit to it? There isn't any. But the benefit to this, cost is cheap to replace. Cost is cheap to repair. Quality and reliability, I wouldn't trade it for nothing, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. Let me know down below. And again, I'm not just talking about the Jeep 3.6. I'm talking about the 3.6s in the Ram trucks. I'm talking about the 3.6 in here. I'm talking about the 3.8 in the Frontier. Talking about the 3.5 that was in the 3rd gen Tacomas. Do you feel that they are gutless? Do you feel that they're not enough? Do you feel that they don't have enough power for what you needed to do? Do you think it can't do what it needs to do because it misses the power? Curious what you think. In my opinion, I could care less. I honestly could absolutely care less. I have never even put this pedal all the way to the floor and used the power that this thing even has yet. I don't need any more, okay? I just don't care. I'm not racing Camaros. I'm not playing stupid games, and I'm not trying to pass when there's not enough room to pass, and I don't understand it. And like I said, when I'm off-road, I keep it in 4 high 99% of the time with the off-road plus button on, and I can spin all 4 tires. I got more power than I have traction. Okay, what more do you need? That's a good way of putting it. This produces more power than it can make traction for. So anything else is a waste. But yet we gain the power and the beauty factor of that naturally aspirated engine. Let me know what you think. Thanks.